I think Tony Johnson absolutely nailed that moment. Where did you come from? Offer 1 point, but it doesn't matter how you win so long as you do, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit silly of the Brumbies, actually, to be going for the drop goal from 40 out. I thought the Blues were under pressure and they just should have kept recycling. That's a long drop kick at the best of time, and pretty happy to see Offer there. Was he onside? Who cares?
He was onside. You know, I was actually quite amazed about how fast he got out there and to stick his arms up like. But sensational semi-final. I think the way the Brumbies sort of came back and you know, got their game going in the end was you know, a testament to sort of them. And you're right. I think, you know, if little Seal had to play that moment again, I think he'd want to sort of, you know, relive that and sort of recycle the ball and be a little bit patient about how they finished that game off.
Look, they've got some frustrations coming out of the Brumbies, but bottom line, they put themselves in a position to win the game. They were a man up. All they had to do was hold on to the ball and build pressure, force the Blues into giving away a penalty to give them a realistic shot of winning the game. Remember what the Blues did to the Brumbies this year? What they did is they got themselves in a position where they were going to win, and then Beauden Barrett drops back into the pocket. They had advantage anyway in that situation. That's experience that they didn't have. And I think Lola Seal is going to be disappointed with himself, because you think about it too, it's got to go 45 metres, Mills, so to travel that, you've got to kick it low.
Yeah. You
can't kick it up. It gave Offa Tuangafasi, who's not the tallest man in the world, every opportunity to charge it down. They missed their chance, just like the Chiefs missed their chance in Christchurch.
Well, for the Blues, they were led superbly, weren't they, JK, by Beauden Barrett. He just keeps getting better every single week, and the wins keep ticking over. 15 straight now heading into this final.
Yeah, look, I think when you look at players as good as Beauden, you're always looking for parts of their game that they're trying to improve on. And I haven't seen him this direct, Mills, at the defensive line for a long, long time, and you cannot run off him. But he's actually accelerating with some real determination into that defence line. And I think that puts real pressure on the defence line, which helps outside. So, you know, when you talk about a triple threat, that kick, pass and go, he's really doing the go part. Yeah. Better than I've seen him do it for a long time.
That inside channel and sort of chopping back, you know, the whole night he was sort of on for that. And then a little wee hole sort of opened up and he just explodes through there. It wasn't as if it was like he only done it once or twice. He kept doing it every single, majority of the time he got the ball. But then when he was really potent was when he went out a bit wider. So he's in great form at the moment. Looking forward to that battle in itself. I mean, these battles are right across the board.
I think what you have to do is look at not that in isolation. I think you combine that with Stephen Petafeta and how he's played in 2022, because you're only going to do that if you're Beauden Barrett, if you've got confidence that someone else is going to step up. So he clearly trusts Petafeta. He trusts Kirstie. The fact the moment he takes it to the line and he's taken out of phase play, they've got the confidence that they can keep their continuity going. So for me, I look at these two guys in tandem, the way that Petafeta did the job at 10, and then JK, when he slipped back to fullback, this guy, I expect, I don't know this, to be named tomorrow in the All Blacks, given on his form and the fact that he is the next best option at 10 after the two we know.
Is Damian McKenzie available?
I don't think he is at this stage.
I'm just looking at your list over there. Haven't you got your list there, mate? I've
got a question for both of you. Do you think that Beauden should kick with the All Blacks, and do you think the defensive pattern that the Blues use would help the backfield kicking game if Geordie plays fullback?
The way you swap around, the way they brought Stephen. And look, he missed a tackle early in that game, Mills, but that wasn't par for the course. That's not the way his season has played out. He's been very good in the front line. I like the option because you get the sense, the feeling is for the next level it's going to be Geordie Barrett. Not a bad option to bring him in the front line, right? Geordie Barrett and bring Beauden to the back. I think it could work.
Well, he's solid, isn't he? I mean, as Geordie, you know, he's a very handy defender. So why wouldn't you? And the way that you know, Beauden's been playing at the back, he's been pretty potent too.
Well, for the Brumbies head coach, Dan McKellar, that was his final game in charge after 9 years. It wasn't the fairy tale finish he was after, and he was pretty hot in the press conference afterwards.
What is the game doing around cards? Well, Lenny Katau sitting in the grandstand for an accident last week. Hasn't been able to play, possibly won't play against England in the first test match. We've got a guy tipped on his head, we've got head-on-head contact. One's a yellow, one's a red, and I'm not complaining just about tonight, but as a game, what direction are we going here? Because players don't know what's yellow, what's red. I don't know what it is. So how's Joe Public going to have any idea? So I'm not sitting here saying that Blues boys should have been red carded or whatever, but as a game, it's really hard to follow at the moment in terms of which way it may go. If someone throws a stiff arm or punches someone or eye gouges someone or stands on someone, throw the book at them. No one wants players getting concussed and that sort of thing, but there's accidents and it's, yeah. Anyway, we're going off track a little bit here.
He's passionate, isn't he? But JK, does he have a point?
Oh, he has a massive point. He's got a massive point. I mean, that's a red card every day of the week. We've known for 100 million years you can't hook your hand anymore behind the knee because that tips. Two of them in the tackle, lands on his head. That's a red card every day of the week. Has been for the last 2 years. And that inconsistency, I don't know how we do it. I thought Ben O'Keefe had a very good game. I don't think it's a referee problem. It's just I don't know how we're going to get this inconsistency out of our game, Mills. I mean, and then we look at Matera the night before, stays down with a head knock, doesn't come off. And then a little bit later we get someone coming off because he's gone down with a head knock. It's the consistency we need to see, and I don't know how we do that.
And there's so many different examples. And I think what Dan's talking about also is when guys have red carded and throwing the book at them. There's also inconsistency when it comes to, citing them and things like that, and sort of how many weeks they get. I mean, you compare the Nipo Laulala situation to Caleb Clark. So all of a sudden, both got the same time, but then you throw in a coaching course in there, and then it's mitigated, or it comes down. So I think there's a lot in there. There's a lot of inconsistency right across, whether it's on the field, off the field as well, and that's perhaps where the frustration is. Well, it is where the frustration
is. Is a centralised bunker the idea with the same people making the same decisions? Is it a human error?
Look, there's a lot of factors in play here, and clearly I cannot believe that Kurt Eklund hasn't been cited. There's no sightings out of the game last night. For tipping a guy and dropping him on his head, part of that, I find that surprising. That's no disrespect to Kurt, but surely, given what we've seen through the course of this season, I mean, bottom line, that's incredibly frustrating for me as someone watching the game going, to your point, there'll be players who may miss out, Pablo Matera being one, because he received the red card, automatically goes to the judicial system, and he may miss because of that.
I need to get the stick figures back out.
Oh, no. We don't want JK drawing again. I do want to talk about one thing, though, and particularly in and around the game, is the fact there was some controversy coming out of the Brumbies. They've been blowing up, Kirstie, on this, haven't they? The bottom line, talking about whether or not this should have been a penalty to the Brumbies. Luke Romano takes the ball in, then the Brumbies player's on the ball. Now, I'm saying he wins the ball here. Smart player doesn't even try to win the ball. He tries to get a penalty, because that's what the law allows you to do. And to me, I've put the law up there, right, because this is where the game for me has changed, Mills. There's law 15, OK, 3. Players involved in all stages of the ruck must have their head and shoulders no lower than the hips. That's the thing they've forgotten for 25 years. That's what they've forgotten for 25 years, and that's why we've got the game we've got right now. Remember when you used to put bodies into rucks and clean it out? Counter-rucking is something we do right now. Bottom line, because we've allowed players to put their hands on the ball, ironically, it's because the way the Brumbies played, you got into a point where they were sealing things off and you tried to get it with hands. The hands are the problem for a referee for me, JK.
I had this argument in 2003 after the World Cup when we all got invited to go to World Rugby to discuss the game. And I said, for me, it's hands in the ruck, always has been. Like, why are we letting that happen? And they said, because rugby has to be a fair contest for the ball.
Yeah, you can have a contest over the ball. We do it up for a scrum. We do it in a maul. It's about winning the space. Bottom line, when you get into this picture, it makes it incredibly hard for the referees to make clear and obvious decisions because there are too many people and too many bodies and too difficult parts to see. I just think, for me, that's what's clouded it for them. If the ball...
Kills a lot of really good attacking players. Right?
Well, when you look at that, then, well, doesn't that answer the question? Ben O'Keefe let the play go on because of
absolutely.
that. He's seen that as it, and the downside of it is the moment in time that it sort of happened. Everyone was blown up for from across the ditch for a penalty. But if you look at a situation like this, 40 minutes or 50-odd minutes into a game, I mean, play on. Let's keep the flow going.